Today we're going to talk about the notion that the US is a free market economy. In free market economy, we're going to have the situation that tariffs are very low. Why tariffs are low? They want to allow capital and goods to move freely among countries. That is free market capitalism or free market economy. Throughout US history, US always put significant amount of tariff on goods and services because it wanted to protect certain areas or industries. Sometimes it was the automobile industry, sometimes it was other industries, but more or less, sometimes there were more tariffs, sometimes the tariffs were lower. And in 2025, we see that tariffs are going from average of 2% to 18%. Why this happened? Why this is against free market economy? And why still US claim to have a free market economy and also promote it throughout the world? The reason that this promotion of free market economy happened throughout the world, because as dollar is world reserve currency, the US wants that any capital that goes out of the US, any dollar that leaves the US, it eventually recycle back to the US. For example, let's say few hundreds of billions of dollars just left the US, went throughout the world. If other countries don't have free market economy, what's going to happen? Those dollars made trapped in those countries is not going to return back. But by promoting free market economy, you tell other countries that in order for your economy to prosper, you always need to keep your tariff low, and you always need to let the market decide, not government is gonna. The government interference is completely wrong. So you need to let the market decide. But there are many instances in US history that government interfere into the market to save the market. We have 2007-8 financial crisis. We have 2020 COVID-19 that government came and saved many companies with the bailout, and also with CHIP Act that the government came and put substantial amount of money to invest in semiconductor industry. And now we're recently having government directly investing in Intel, taking share of Intel. That is something that we usually happen in other countries that there are not free market economy as it's promoted, but we see happening here that more and more government come and interfere to the market and also disrupt the market in order to stabilize the market. So why the US promote free market economy for all other countries, but when it comes to the US and whenever the economy is not as stable, the US actually go against free market economy? As I mentioned, is all about the recycle of dollar back to the US, because there's the only way that you could guarantee those dollars to come back when there is no capital control in other countries. When the tariffs are low in other countries, in that case, companies could just go abroad and outsource in other countries with a low tariff. So these are the things that are very good for the US financial market. It's very good for those huge companies that want to outsource somewhere else. And sometimes that the US think it needs to protect certain industry inside the US, it put tariffs. It still is good for those companies. But at the end of the day, all these benefits is not for the majority of population in the US and is not good for the majority of countries in the world. The free market economy that the US promote for other countries may be good in certain timeline of a certain country, but is not something universal that you could write a prescription for the whole world that if you choose a free market economy, all your economic problems gonna get solved. That's not something like that. But the US make it as a prescription for the whole world in order for those dollar to recycle back easier to the US. That was I want to go over the main reason why we have a free market economy promotion around the world, but when it comes to the domestic US market, free market economy is optional. Sometimes good, sometimes not good. And that's for today. Thank you guys. Have a great one.